Jó estét kívánok! Kérem, engedjék meg, hogy angolra csak annak érdekében, hogy minden érdeklődőt bevonhassunk a programba. So good evening and welcome, both to us here at the Computer History Museum and to our guests online. I'm Eleanor Mészáros, Science and Technology Counselor of the Vice Consulate in San Francisco. It is my great pleasure to welcome you to Mentoring Matters, Elevating Your Professional Journey. As we come together in this iconic space dedicated to the history of computing, it's worth noting the strong Hungarian contribution featured here. From John von Neumann's groundbreaking computer architecture and the JONIAC, named after him, to Clara Dan von Neumann's early programming work, Charles Simonyi's role in developing Microsoft programs, Andrew Grove's leadership at Intel, and Wolfgang von Kempelen's 18th century inventions, Hungarian innovators have played a key role in shaping the story of technology, both Silicon Valley and around the world. Tonight, we celebrate more than the launch of a program. We open a gateway between Hungary's brightest emerging talent and Silicon Valley's extraordinary ecosystem of innovation. In collaboration with the Hungarian-American scientists and innovators in Silicon Valley, the new mentor program is designed to forge lasting partnerships where professionals share hard-won insights and young entrepreneurs gain the encouragement and connection they need to soar. This evening, you will hear visionary professionals, Zoltán Egyed, Ádám Rendek, Péter Fehér, and István Szanda, each ready to pass along the lessons that shape their own careers. And you will hear about the East Coast also from my colleague, Tamás Novák. Whether you are here to mentor or to be mentored, you are an essential bridge in this vibrant dialogue. After the presentation, please join us for a light refreshment in front of the room where we can continue this important conversation. Thank you for being part of this journey, and let's build a new pathway together.
A couple of words about who we are for the new people and also for those in Hungary who have not been part of our events yet. We are the Hungarian Innovators Club of Silicon Valley. We are a non-political organization of people locally who are involved in innovation and startup ecosystem. Our members are present in all areas of the industry. We are part of, as we call, the Magnificent Seven and all kinds of other interesting companies and new companies. We are here to strengthen the connection between Hungary and the American startup ecosystem and to provide expert advice, leverage our members' extensive network and quite unparalleled experience. As we said, we are here to foster better connection between Hungarian scientists, engineers, and all kinds of innovation professionals. We have worked on to facilitate joint projects and to develop relationships between different organizations between Hungary and the US. And we are here to make connections for especially early career professionals and to specialize, also for those in specialized fields to try to find an internship and to gain, for them to gain experience. And I would like to point out that actually our President József Bartfalski and I'm a co-president. Most of what we do is we do monthly events, occasionally a little bit more. Most of the events are usually talks of a very, very wide variety of interesting subjects. Some of the talks which you definitely would not find anywhere else. Some of those talks I would compare watching Michelangelo create some of his sculptures, that level of insight and incredible experience you can find there. We ran a couple of different investor pitch nights. We have worked on Hungarian startups with leads and different investors here. And we very much like to have each other in our network. Why do we want to create a mentor program? We do believe that mentorship promotes, gives fantastic benefits to everybody involved, for the mentors, mentees, and the community. And you will be hearing from 4 different people, testimonials, what happens when it's not there, what happens when it's there. If you think that you don't need it, maybe you want to listen to some of those testimonials. It might change your mind. And it also represents our commitment to foster a growth and collaboration within our community. Just as some of the main benefits which you would want to keep in mind for mentees, you get some guidance and insights from experienced professionals. You get much accelerated learning and skill development. You can much better navigate business and career challenges. You can very well expand your network, increase your confidence and clarity in all goals. And I like to point out that oftentimes you can save years, often decades of useless stuff otherwise you would be doing in your life. And you can certainly sign up here in our website to be considered as a mentee. Some of the basic benefits for mentors I would like to point out is it very much develops your leadership and coaching skills. It does give you fresh perspective and insights. It teaches you patience. It expands your network. It gives you a deep personal satisfaction, especially when you see that your mentee actually will try out some of your suggestions, maybe every 5th or 6th month, but some of them they will try out. It gives you an opportunity to give back to the community, and we also share the slides, but those who are interested, they can actually register on our website for that. And what kind of benefits actually does it give to the community? I would like to point out that it's very much creates a culture of support and just knowledge sharing. It elevates a collective experience of the Hungarian community here in the Silicon Valley and beyond. It strengthens actually the network of our Innovators Club, and it really supercharges those young professionals, or also young professionals within our midst. And with that, I would like to ask our first presenter to give his testimonial of what happens when maybe you have less mentors than you would like. Please help me welcome Peter Fehér from Lockheed.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Peter Fehér. I'm an engineer at Lockheed Martin. When I first heard that we're going to have this opportunity for this mentor-mentee program set up, I was really excited. So was asked, like, oh, why don't you tell about it? Well, so the first thing I can tell you about it is the negative example. When I was a young engineer, I didn't have a mentor-mentee relationship, and I didn't notice it at the time, but later on I realized how much I was missing out. I could see, especially now, younger colleagues with a good mentor relationship, how much faster they can soar and where they can get in the same time. So I definitely believe that being a mentee is helping career to take off much faster, understand the system better. And oftentimes it's not just ideas or scientific or technological knowledge that's been transferred, but just basic life ideas, experience, and how to work within a company, either small or big. On the other hand, now that I'm actually a little bit more established and I have people that are working for me, I have the chance to be a mentor, and I tremendously enjoy it. And that's why I was really excited about becoming a part of this, because I noticed that once you don't really understand something until you have to explain it to somebody else. So you actually get a chance to really hone your own knowledge, basically because all of a sudden you have to be able to explain and tell it to somebody else. So surprisingly enough, I feel like after one of these sessions, I learned more perhaps than my mentee did. So that's another reason why I really enjoy this mentorship program, and I would really love to be part of it. And one more thing, it's an interesting thing. You don't have to be a mentor and mentee. You can be at the same time from somebody else. You can be a mentor of somebody, and you can be a mentee of somebody else. So it's not necessarily a one-to-one relationship, but could be a whole chain. So I really encourage everybody, all young engineers, seek out a mentor. Don't be like me. And I encourage everybody else to seek out a mentee, because I think it's a very rewarding experience. Thank you.
As our next testimonial, please help me welcome Adam Rendek, who has maybe a slightly different kind of story.
Thank you very much. My name is Adam Rendek, and I work at Amazon at AWS specifically, although tonight I'm not representing the points of view of the company. What I'd like to tell you about is my mentor and mentee experience that's been unfolding in the last 3 years. I got to a point of my career where focused effort is really meaningful. Even though I had very positive experiences before this period of my life, where I was able to give guidance to some younger colleagues, and I certainly got a lot of wise words and guidance from others who are more senior than me. The last 3 years were really different. And this is because of a program that we have. And the program helps us focus and concentrate on this mentor-mentee relationship. What I have done at the beginning when I joined the company, I looked around. I read a lot about what was the state of the art around certain topics that I was interested in and I needed to focus on. And in one particular area, which happens to be knowledge graphs, I found an excellent article online. And then I found that the author of this article works at the same company as I do. So I thought that, well, maybe I could reach out to him. So I did, and he was very open, very supportive, and said that just pick a time, I'm happy to meet with you. I talked to him about what I'd like to do, and I learned that he's indeed one of the world's top experts of this field. And I still remember that he leaned forward in the camera and said, this is what we're gonna do. I'm going to meet with you every 2 weeks, and we will make this happen. And that meant the world to me because I felt like I was supported by one of the top experts in the world. This kind of feeling only comes from someone who can dedicate some attention to you and pay attention to you and really support you and sustain that focused support. So this is where the program part comes in. I'm really grateful for our company to have a dedicated mentoring program because this program allows to officially sign up as a mentor and mentee. And this is part of our culture, which means that it is rewarded if somebody becomes a mentor because the culture of our company recognizes the value that it brings to the young employee's life. So without this program, in the past, I've had really wonderful experiences getting guidance from older people or senior colleagues of mine. But it always fizzled out because inevitably those people had other priorities and couldn't pay attention to it. The program and the commitment that comes from the program really helps us focus on each other. And I thought that was a very important thing. So the short of it is that in the past 3 years, from being someone who's interested in knowledge graphs and dabbling in knowledge graphs, I dare to say that I've become an expert in knowledge graphs, and I've grown easily 9 years worth because of my mentor's contribution. This is because he was pushing me beyond what I was about to do. This is because he was advocating for me. This is because he was saying that, well, you need to set a goal and you go for it. And he kept me to that promise. Otherwise, I would have probably chosen my own work priorities, and these self-propelling ideas and self-propelling routes would have fallen on the wayside. This kind of focused effort and the program, the support of the program together has helped me grow tremendously, and I'm really excited about this new program by the Innovators Club because I'm certain that it will give a lot of positive input to the young people around us. Thank you.
Our next presenter will be remote as he has fallen ill. You just make sure that I can pin his picture here.
Hello, good evening. Can you see me? Can you hear me?
We can hear you, we cannot see you. Just give me one moment to try to pin you on the screen.
I'm not that pretty anyway. Oh, this is a very nice photo of me. Remember of me how I looked in this photo. Everything is down here from here, I tell you.
For some reason, I'm having trouble pinning you there.
That's perfectly fine.
Please go ahead. Please go ahead.
All right. So I'm always fascinated by the discovery of weed, like marijuana. As I wonder how people discovered it. You know, the whole tribe went to the fields. They looked around. Everybody reached out, took a little bit of grass or whatever, and they smoked it. And I'm sure for most people it was a rather painful experience. It didn't work out very well, but for the very few who managed to, you know, have marijuana, I don't endorse any drugs or mind-altering substances for the record. It was a very pleasant experience, and what they did was to teach. They taught other people which of the grass on the field was worth smoking. And this is how we evolved. The word mentor comes from the ancient Greek word. You know, I studied physics and this is how pretty much every lesson started of, even the ancient Greek. So mentor was actually a mythical figure from Odysseus. Odysseus asked mentor to take care of his son in his absence, to teach him, nurture him. And many of these stories from Odysseus mention that mentor was only a channel of the divine wisdom from Pallas Athene. And also the way I like this story is because Odysseus trusted mentor with something probably the most precious to him, his own son. It involves a way of stewardship, a stewardship of wisdom and life experience, and also stewardship of somebody's soul, somebody's aspirations, somebody's future, somebody's time as well. What I experienced both as a mentee and a mentor is that this is a rather asymmetrical relationship without competition. One party is clearly in that certain field superior, more experienced, more knowledgeable, have more resources to share than the other party. And I find this beautiful. You know, especially high achievers, people with ambition, we tend to compete with each other, even within a friendship, even, you know, among brothers or sisters, we compete with each other. This is, from the get-go, an asymmetrical relationship, where there's no need to pay it back. There's a need to pay it forward to the next generation. We live in a fragmented world. One mentor cannot teach everything, but they can be experts and experienced in a certain field. We have mentorship and other relationships that have mentoring aspects. I don't have kids, but many people with kids can see themselves as mentor to their kids. But besides this relationship, they also house their kids. They are legal representatives of their kids. They have to discipline them and so on. And it is a multifaceted relationship. Unlike mentoring, when a relationship is founded on a mentoring relationship and nothing else is involved, I find it really pure really selfless and simple. And moreover, because of the personal aspect and the personal competency in a certain field, mentorship let one person into another person's world. I find it fascinating. I find it deeply personal and intimate as well. I have received a lot of value, wisdom, life experience from a few people throughout my life. I thought it was a great time to name a few of these people. Chris Tielemans, Tamás Szekeres, John Grinder, Dan Lynch, Lefteris Liviratos, Géza Berényi, Ferry Todd, Gábor Németh, Sylvester Todd, and David Koprimsky were different areas of life. So I want to take a second to express my gratitude for these people. None of these are in the room, but I have very fond memories of these, and I'm ready to pay it forward. Thank you very much for Zoltán and team to establish such organization and have the opportunity to connect people with mostly Hungarian backgrounds to help each other. So my last piece of advice is you have two options. One is to go out and try to smoke everything that is green, or the other one is to get a mentor. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for the slightly unusual advice. And I would like to ask Tamás Novák, also remotely, to talk about mentorship programs in other parts of the United States.
Thank you, Zoltán. In fact, I'm going to speak about two projects, one failure and one success. And I'm starting with the failure. And this is the project we have started to discuss about a year ago with Norbert Hardy at University of Pennsylvania, who is working with Katalin Karikó and Drew Weissman. And exactly the objective was the same as yours, guys, to give back to the community and to help young people to succeed. And in this discussion, the objective was very specific, giving career advice to top students, top research students who are in Hungary, either at a PhD program or master's program, who really want to be a top scientist in any kind of scientific fields. So the basic idea was to connect the mentors in the East Coast, basically in the East Coast, and to get them involved in a project to help Hungarian students to get practical experiences through getting into a top US university for a PhD program or for an internship. So it was a very concrete project because we thought that, okay, that we have excellent scientists, young researchers in Hungary, but to become a real world-level researchers and scientists, they must be at the very top universities. So that was the idea. But then came the problem that obviously the scientists are very busy people, so they, of course, can mentor one or two students, but not more. And what is for sure that they cannot manage a program like this. We tried to find a partner in Hungary, and we found the National Innovation Agency, the Hungarian Innovation Agency, Nemzeti Innovációs Ügynökség or something like that. And we started to discuss the details of the program, and they said that, okay, guys, we are going to manage this whole program. But unfortunately, it turned out that just because they are too far from the United States and they don't really understand how the scientific field and the universities are operating in the United States, somehow they missed the target. So what we found with Norbert, that there was a lack of ownership of the program, and there were again one conflicting problem, which was related to the size of the program, because we thought that this program should be a very small at the beginning, and it has to build up step by step. But on the other side, in Hungary, they wanted to have a very big program at the very beginning. So all in all, this program has failed. Now it's officially cancelled. So that's a sad story. But there's another interesting story, which is a success. And we already had a discussion with Zoltán a couple of weeks ago about that. And it is related to a non-profit organization based in Hungary, which is called the Global Institute for Lifelong Learning. And I have been mentoring with these guys for 3 years now. So we are through 3 cohorts. So we already have a lot of experiences how to build up a program like that. This program basically focused on public policy and diplomacy students. So we are looking for students who would like to be involved in international relations or public policy and diplomacy, various forms of diplomacy at international organizations or bilateral embassies. So we had these 3 years and 3 cohorts. So during this period, we were able to continuously fine-tune the process. So the program looks like now as follows. We have 10 mentors and students. There's a very strong project management, a dedicated person who only deals with all of the feedbacks, all of the problems of the mentors or the mentees, and they are trying to facilitate everything during the mentorship program. That's very important. The second relates to the application. How do we select these students who are participating in the program? It's a little bit similar to yours. That it's a kind of application through the website, which is coupled with a very active marketing at universities. So we are trying really to get the word spread all around the best Hungarian universities. There is an interesting part of the program that there is a small application fee, very minimal, and we have been discussed about this a lot, but we believe that by asking the students to pay a little minimal fee is also shows their commitment and dedications to this project. Then comes the selection process, and the selection process is based on CV, a personal interview, motivation letter, and also it is very important to understand what is the objective of the students. What does he or she expects from the program, and what kind of skills she or he would like to develop. So we are basically focusing on skill development. And then comes the mentor and mentee matching, which is a kind of speed dating. So all of the mentors and the mentees are in the same room, or if someone is abroad, then on the internet. So everybody talks to everybody, and at the end of the process, this matching could take place quite smoothly. And then comes the one-on-one mentoring for 5 months around, which means 2-3 weekly meetings every 2 or 3 weeks. Then it coupled with community events, which means that there are presentations, workshops, and things like that. And also there is a closing ceremony with presentations of the students, the mentees. This closing ceremony was just last week. So that's what we are doing. And there is one more very important thing that we also included into the program, professional coaching of the mentors, because we found that even if all of the mentors are very clever, very experienced, but mentoring is a very special work. So it can be very useful if a real professional coach draws your attention to the most important pitfalls and difficulties of mentoring a student. So that's what we have done until now, but now we are trying to expand the program, and the next phase will be related to science mentoring. not last because of the failure of the East Coast Scientific Mentorship Program. We would like to somehow renew it. And what we are doing now is collecting of the mentors in the East Coast. I know personally all of them, so I approach them personally and ask them whether they are interested or not to be involved, and they seems to be quite open. The next thing is that collaborating with Hungarian organizations like the Hungarian Academy, HUNREN, this new research institute, and Ferenc Krausz Office of Mentorship, because Ferenc Krausz has also a mentorship program, so we would like to combine our forces. And the timeline is quite clear that now the pre-registration has already started. We started the communication with the mentors. The project manager has been appointed, and in September we would like to open the application and the selection. And the program launch will be in October. So this will be the second channel or second track of this mentorship program. So all in all, I just wanted to mentorship program, a really impactful mentorship program, where all the mentors and the mentees are on the same page. They can understand what are the expectations, what are the objectives of the mentees, and even we think that it's very important to support very strongly the mentors, either by a coach or advices or anything they might need. So that's what we have done until now, and I hope that I can help you if you have any questions in the future. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, and we will have an opportunity for questions at the end. With that, I would like to get to our next part of our event today. We'll go into some detail about how does actually our program look like, what are the steps, what is the structure here. We purposefully try to keep it different than some of the existing very well working mentorship programs. We realized that this is not connected to a particular academic institution or a school, so we wanted to make it a little bit different in its cadence and pattern. And we decided that because of practicalities, we are asking for our potential mentors and mentees to register on our website. We are actually finalizing a short online session to really go over our guidelines. We have published our guidelines for mentors and mentees, but we wanted to make sure to go into some more detail in there to encourage them to follow them, and also to present just a little bit of speed bump towards potential mentees to make sure that they will actually take that little time to go through that and fill out some silly little form which will show that they've actually have gone through that. Based on these registrations and based on that registered specialties and interests of the participants, we notified the prospective mentor and mentee for their possible alignment call. And in this case, we actually explicitly decided to think of it not as a mass event, but more as a one-by-one event. It's a slightly different approach, and we'll see how well it will work. If there is an alignment, then we suggest a 1 month trial period for that mentor and mentee, where they can meet probably most of the time online in their agreed time frame. We have found in the past that approximately 1 to 2 weeks is a reasonable time in that one. And we realized that we need to set a target time for that mentor-mentee relationship for multiple reasons. If there is no suggested time limit, then there is no perceived urgency, so everything can be just put aside and dealt with it sometime tomorrow. So with that one, we are suggesting a timeline of 6 months to motivate for concrete goals and actions. For practical reasons, we expect a large part of the mentor-mentee communication to be over video calls. A large number of them will be on different continents, as we have numerous mentors, potential mentors who have registered here in the US, and we have a non-trivial interest in Hungary already. And just a gentle reminder, please remember to use the secret system, don't use Zoom. Having a good summary of the areas you would like to be a mentor or mentee in will certainly help to make a speedy match between mentor and mentee. And just saying the obvious, but naturally after that initial bringing together the potential mentors and mentees, other than some small feedback we are requesting from them, other than that the communication between them is obviously totally between them and it does not go through our club. That's totally confidential to that pair of people. And just to think about how does it actually work for those two parties. I mean, first of all, if you are considering to be a mentor, thank you very much. It's actually a fantastic thing and a fantastic way of giving back to the community. And you can register on our website at hungariansv.com/mentor. We have also posted there our guidelines. We're going to just a little bit of detail after that. We will be connecting you with a potential mentee, again, one at a time. We don't want to create one big mass event. We are more looking at it in an incremental sense as the different signups come in and who that might be matched together with. And again, just a reminder that the suggested length of the time is 6 months, and if both parties desire so, they can extend it certainly. Your main responsibilities as a mentor would be to provide some guidance and share your experience, act as a sounding board to the mentee, maintain confidentiality. It is sometimes a weak point in Hungarians, maintain confidentiality. You do not want to leak out any interesting tidbits you have heard from your mentee and not the other way around. You should be committing to some kind of meeting frequency that will depend on individual circumstances. Again, approximately twice a month is about the right amount. And make sure you are a good listener. And remember that your goals are not always the other person's goals. That was one of the hardest things for some of us to realize when we were in some mentor relationships. Just because you would prefer to go one way or other in your career, doesn't necessarily mean that your mentee really wants to go the same way. Make sure to hear them out. And you will also realize that oftentimes they might be missing some of the depths of insight you have. That's why you were there to nicely, respectfully point that out to them. If you are considering to be a mentee, then you will be getting what I would really think is the closest thing to a cheat code in life. You will be saving a tremendous amount of time, energy, frustration from your life. If you want to keep those frustrations and waste of time, sure, go ahead, no problem. If you belong in the other group, then please keep listening. You can register at our website at hungariansv.com/mentorat. Again, we have our guidelines and we will have a short summary of that here, but you will be asked to go through them to really understand it. Again, we will be connecting you with a potential mentor. The way it will go is we will look at the particular desired specialties and see if you have somebody who is close enough in that regard. And first we will show them the request without names, and if they say that potentially yes, then we will connect them together. And again, think in terms of a 6 months time frame to motivate you to be somewhat specific in that defined time period. And then if both of you desire, then it could be extended. Your main responsibility, if you would be a mentee, you have to drive the relationship. It is not the mentor's responsibility to go after you to motivate you. No, that's your responsibility. So you need to be working with scheduling your meetings with them and to set an agenda of what you would like to accomplish. You should be preparing for your sessions based on that, the kind of things you would like to cover. You should be collecting your thoughts. If the mentor has suggested what things to try out or do otherwise, you should collect your results in that regard. Be open to feedback. It doesn't mean that your mentor will know everything. They will probably have their own share of mistakes, but the nice thing is that they have probably made more mistakes than you already. So you might be able to use some of that. Respect your mentor's time and energy. There's a wide variety of mentors. Some of them may be slightly better than you. Some of them might be substantially better than you in some regards. It might take you some years, maybe some decades to realize some of that depth of insight those mentors would be able to give you. You might be able to reach people who would be close to impossible to reach otherwise. Respect their time and energy. It is not up to them to make you do things. You ask them to point out things, to give you insight, to give you suggestions. It's up to you to listen and to with some scientific check, of course, to see whether you want to follow them or not. And again, maintain confidentiality. Some of the main guidelines I would like to remind everybody to in this mentorship program. First of all, you have to have a strong respect for that other party and their efforts. It just doesn't work otherwise. Again, confidentiality. I have seen plenty of times, especially in Hungary, that confidentiality sometimes comes up as an afterthought. It has to be really, really serious. As a mentor, you should think about committing a minimum of 2 hours per month for a particular mentor commitment. As a mentee, you should think a little bit more on the order of 1 hour per week, so more on the order of 4 hours per month to spend on this effort. And it is the mentee's responsibility to set goals for a particular meeting and again to schedule it. There are sometimes issues in scheduling. It's the mentee's responsibility to work through the mentor federator. Some of the basic preparation which will be needed for mentors is we need to understand the program expectations. You should be reflecting on your areas of expertise, which hopefully you have put into that sign-up sheet. And when you get your the mentee profile, you will want to review it when you get a potential match to see whether that might make sense or not. And if you think it might, then in that case, a meeting will be set up between you to ascertain whether that works exactly or not. Similarly for mentees, one of your responsibilities really to define your goals for the mentorship. That mentorship is not going to solve all your life's problems. You should have some initial set of goals you would like to address with. Might get slightly modified during time. Again, 6 months is not a very long time, so start with some set and kind of see where it goes from there. Maybe in your next mentorship experience, maybe it will be somewhat different. Prepare a clear application. So put there really the kind of things you are interested in. If you put there something vague, it will be a lot harder to measure. You need to understand your program expectations and you will reflect on your own areas where you believe your guidance is needed. For some quality control and just to make sure that we do things right, we will be requesting both the mentor and the mentee to write down their kind of thoughts. We expect a kind of no more than 30-second kind of input after each session. And again, just stating the obvious without any confidential parts. And you would like to understand the level of the fit that particular mentor or mentee might have and any structural issues you might need to address in the whole program. And we are actually working on a substantially more sophisticated ways to catch some of the feedback and to catch some of the learnings, but those are not done yet. So it will be introduced as an optional and I believe very, very beneficial ways of just collecting some experience from that. Again, the way the whole system works is there will be an initial contact after these potential matches introduced one at a time. So if you are a potential mentor, you will not be getting 10 possible matches at a time. You will be getting them one at a time. So in some sense, you will be facing Sindbad's dilemma. It's fine, that's part of the game. The purpose of your first meeting really would be to get some basic get to know each other, to try to ascertain whether there is a fit or not, to set some expectations. Are you comfortable talking with another person or not? Doesn't mean that you need to tell them all your secrets at the first time, just to get some comfort and to see how well it works so you have resonance with them. And realize that there is sometimes you need more than one such occasion to get a better understanding. So they're suggesting that within the first months there should be the kind of really no deep questions. I don't feel like there is a big fit here. Kind of sorry, let's not do that. Let's try something else. A very easy way to cancel that relationship. And again, we'll be asking to confirm whether they believe there is a fit or not in that session feedback form. Again, to prevent some outrageous waste of time, we recommend to think in kind of 6 months time frame. Meeting frequency should be as agreed. Different people kind of look for different things, and again, that approximately 2 weeks is just one thing which I've found practical. Much longer than that, and it's really wasting time in a different sense, and much tighter than that would be oftentimes taking up too much time of the mentor. The focus should be really working towards the mentee's defined goals and for the mentor to try to provide some clarity and insight on that. if you remember some of the really silly mistakes you have made in your judgments, especially early in your career, you might be able to prevent some other person to do at least some of those. You do want to have open communication with some good amount of respect. Just because it is something that appears to be very clear to you and you want it to be to the other person, yes, you want to tell them, but be careful what you tell them. Sometimes the most in-their-face option is not always the best. How do you get started? Well, being a mentor and a mentee is one of the really great things in life. And for mentors, we would like you to sign up on the /mentor, and for mentees, the /mentorat page of our website. And as our speakers have elaborated, this can take actually sometimes decades of facing efforts in your life. So I would very much encourage you to take your phone out and register now. Thank you. And I believe our presenters are still here for any questions you might have.